Chosen one. This moment is not an accident, and it is not random. You were drawn here by divine appointment and precise spiritual timing, ordered by heaven itself. What you have been carrying in silence, the weight around money, provision and survival, has been seen. The anxiety you felt was never a personal failure. It was a season of testing, a narrowing path designed to reveal what could not be corrupted. Anointed one, you are standing at the edge of a supernatural shift where what was restrained is about to be released and what was delayed is about to move. Chosen one, hear this with clarity. Heaven has been keeping record. Integrity chosen in lack, faith held under pressure, honor preserved when compromise would have been easier. Scripture says there is an appointed time and it will not delay, as written in Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3. That appointed time is now unfolding. You are not waiting for permission. You are witnessing the closing of a season and the opening of another, marked by elevation, restoration, and an unexpected transfer that does not come as chance, but as settlement. Anointed one, this is not noise and it is not hype. It is a declaration. What was hidden is being balanced. What was suppressed is being lifted. What you endured trained you for what you are about to steward. The shift ahead will not need striving, only readiness of heart and clarity of spirit. Chosen one, God does not always remind through explanations or voices. Sometimes what sustains you is something quiet, simple, and steady that has been gently prepared and placed below, waiting without urgency. Chosen one, what is coming toward you is not being measured by your bank screen right now. It is being measured by the weight of what you refused to become when you were under pressure. I need you to hear this the right way. The greatest currency in heaven is not paper, not numbers, not status, not access. The greatest currency is integrity, because integrity is what stays clean when fear tries to bargain with your soul. Anointed one, you have been paying in a currency most people do not even believe is real. You paid when you showed up to work with a tired body and a steady spirit. You paid when you kept your word even when it cost you comfort. You paid when you were tempted to cut corners and you did not. You paid when you were misunderstood, talked about, overlooked, and still kept your heart soft. Every time you chose honor when bitterness would have been easier, something was recorded that the world could not see. Chosen one, there were moments you felt embarrassed about how tight things were, not because you were lazy, but because you were carrying responsibilities that never came with applause. You know the feeling of looking at a bill and trying to decide which one can wait. You know what it is to rehearse numbers in your head just to make it to the next week. And in that quiet place, you still tried to be decent. You still tried to be fair. You still tried to do right by people. That is not small. That is rare. Anointed one, this is why heaven is intervening now. Because you were not being punished. You were being tested, refined, and protected. The lack did not define you. It revealed you. It revealed whether you would become sharp, cold, and manipulative, or whether you would become wiser, cleaner, and stronger. Some people become predators when they are afraid. You became anchored. Some people become selfish when they are stressed. You became more aware of what other people carry. Chosen one, I want to speak plainly. Integrity is not a feeling. Integrity is behavior. It is the decision you make when there is no reward attached. It is the boundary you keep when nobody claps for it. It is the truth you tell when a lie would be more convenient. It is the restraint you practice when you could take advantage and nobody would know. That is why integrity has weight. That is why integrity has power. And that is why integrity has an exchange rate in the unseen realm. Anointed one, There is a conversion taking place. You have been storing up character like seed in hidden soil. It did not look like abundance. It looked like waiting. It looked like delay. It looked like silence. But seed does not announce itself while it is underground. It grows in the dark, and then one day it breaks the surface and everybody acts surprised. What you are about to witness is the surface moment. It is the moment the unseen account begins to show up in the seen world. Chosen one. Some of you are going to recognize this shift before money ever touches your hands. You will notice it in your nervous system first. You will notice a strange calm where you used to spiral. You will notice your breathing settle when you open your phone and check your balance. You will notice you can look at pressure without feeling owned by it. That is not denial, that is alignment. That is the spirit of lack losing its grip. That is your inner world making room for a new reality. Anointed one, hear me with reverence. The coming increase is not lottery energy. It is not reckless. It is not unstable. It is not here to entertain your ego. This increase carries a different sound. It carries settlement. It carries restoration. It carries divine timing. It carries the kind of weight that makes you sit still and think before you speak. It carries the kind of weight that makes you more careful, not more loud. Because what is coming is connected to what you are called to steward. Chosen one. This is also why you have felt out of place in certain spaces. People around you have been operating on fear currency. They trade in manipulation, they trade in scarcity talk, they trade in taking, and you never quite fit because something in you would not move like that. They could not understand why you would turn away from certain offers, why you would walk away from certain deals, why your spirit would tighten when something looked good on paper. You were not weak. You were trained. Your discernment was protecting you from wealth that would have come with chains. Anointed one, the wealth of the world can look impressive and still be fragile. It can look like a tower and still be built on sand. But the wealth that rises out of integrity is different. It is slow built. It is clean built. It is steady. It does not require you to lose yourself to keep it. It does not require you to become someone you do not respect. And that is the kind of increase heaven can trust you with. Chosen one. There is a line in scripture that says a vision is for an appointed time, and though it seems to wait, it will surely come, as written in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. That rhythm is on you now. Appointed does not mean rushed. Appointed means precise. It means the moment has been selected, not by the economy, not by people, not by trends, but by heaven. And if it has been selected, it cannot be cancelled by delay, doubt, or disappointment. Anointed one, I am not telling you this to stir fantasy. I am telling you this to awaken reverence. Because when heaven releases provision to a person with a clean heart, the release is never just about comfort. It is about assignment. It is about impact. It is about doors opening that were not opening before. It is about the kind of help you will be able to give, quietly, without needing credit. It is about you finally building what was in you all along. Chosen one. So do not measure your future by what today looks like. Measure it by what you have become in the dark. Measure it by the choices you made when no one was watching. Measure it by the way you stayed human while under pressure. That is the currency that is being converted. That is the account that is coming into the visible. And in the next segment, I am going to show you the early echoes that often appear right before the door opens. Chosen one. Before the breakthrough becomes visible, it always announces itself quietly. There is a pattern I have seen again and again, both in my own life and in the lives of those who walked this road before you. Abundance never crashes into reality without first sending signals ahead of it. Just like weather shifts before a storm, your environment begins to speak before provision arrives. The air feels different, the pressure changes. Things that were static start to move without explanation. Anointed One, what you are experiencing right now may not look dramatic, but it is precise. You may notice sounds more clearly than before. Moments of silence feel heavier. A faint ringing may appear when your mind is calm. This is not imagination, and it is not something to fear. It is the sound of alignment. It is the inner world tuning to a frequency it has not held before. When something large is rearranging itself on your behalf, the unseen world vibrates first. Chosen One. I remember a season when nothing had changed outwardly, but inwardly I could no longer panic the way I used to. Bills were still there, pressure was still present, but the fear stopped working. That was the first sign. The fear lost authority. When fear loses authority, money soon follows. Because fear is the gatekeeper of lack. When it steps aside, flow begins. Anointed One, pay attention to interruptions. Conversations about your future may suddenly be marked by an external sound, a passing siren, a bird calling out at the exact moment truth is spoken, a knock or vibration that underlines a sentence. These are not theatrics, they are confirmations. The natural world has a way of echoing what heaven is sealing. When something is being approved, it is often punctuated. Chosen One. Another sign is small provision, not the big breakthrough yet, but tiny reminders that money can find you without effort. A forgotten bill gets delayed, a refund appears. You find a small amount of cash where you did not expect it. Someone buys you a meal without explanation. These are not accidents, they are rehearsals. They are teaching your nervous system that receiving does not have to be stressful. Anointed One. The mistake many people make is dismissing small provision because it does not look impressive. But heaven builds confidence gradually. Each small arrival is an agreement being formed between your inner world and the new reality. Each moment you accept without guilt or suspicion, something unlocks. You are not begging anymore. You are consenting. Chosen One. You may also begin noticing repeating numbers, not because numbers are magical, but because repetition is how the unseen communicates consistency. When you keep seeing the same sequence, it is not asking you to chase it. It is reminding you that alignment is stable. Stability precedes overflow. When something is settled, it repeats. Anointed One, I want to ground this for you. The signs are not there to make you anxious, they are there to keep you present. The moment you start hunting for proof, you lose the posture of trust. Observation is calm, desperation is loud. Stay calm. Let the confirmations come to you. They always do when something is already moving. Chosen One. Your dreams may also shift. You may dream of structures, buildings, roads, water, or movement. These are not random symbols. They reflect capacity being built. When your subconscious begins rehearsing new environments, it is preparing you to occupy them without shock. This is protection. Sudden provision without preparation can destabilize people. That is not your story. Anointed One. Even your reflection may look different, not because your life has changed yet, but because your posture has. Shoulders lower, jaw relaxes, eyes soften. These are signs of safety returning, and safety is the foundation of stewardship. When your body feels safe, you make wiser decisions. Heaven cares about this more than speed. Chosen One. What is unfolding is not a tease, it is a sequence, and sequences move in order. The inner shift always comes before the outer one. If you feel calmer without a logical reason, do not fight it. That calm is evidence. It is the echo before the door opens. In the next segment, I will speak to the blueprint itself and why what is coming cannot miss you. Chosen one. What is arriving in your life is not random, and it is not borrowed from someone else's destiny. It is connected to a blueprint that existed before your circumstances ever formed. There are things encoded in you that could not activate until you passed through certain seasons. That is why your path looked delayed compared to others. You were not behind, you were being prepared for a different release. Anointed one. A blueprint is not a plan you think up. It is a design that responds when your inner frequency matches it. For a long time, you had the design but not the alignment. Not because you were unworthy, but because you were still becoming someone who could carry it cleanly. Now that alignment has clicked, movement is inevitable. Chosen one. This is why old ideas are resurfacing. Things you once dismissed as unrealistic are returning with clarity, not as fantasies, but as possibilities that suddenly feel grounded. That is not nostalgia. That is activation. The blueprint is calling back what belongs to it. Anointed one, some provision will come through channels you did not expect. Resolution where you assumed closure. Restoration where you accepted loss. Opportunities that appear without effort. This is not chaos. This is orchestration. Heaven does not need familiar routes. It uses what is available. Chosen one. You may be tempted to question how it can happen this way. Resist that urge. Questioning timing is human, but questioning worth is old programming. Your worth has already been established. Your responsibility now is discernment, not doubt. What feels calm and clear is trustworthy. What feels rushed and frantic is not. Anointed one, when the door opens, it may not look dramatic. It may look simple, a conversation, a message, a number on a screen. Do not underestimate quiet doors. They often lead to the strongest rooms. Chosen one. This blueprint is not here to impress others. It is here to align you with purpose. The money is part of it, but it is not the center. The center is what you are meant to build, support, and sustain. That is why this release waited until your character could hold it without distortion. Anointed one, the system may not understand how this happens for you. That is fine. You were never meant to explain it. You were meant to live it. What comes next will not require force. It will require presence. Chosen one. The blueprint is unfolding now. You do not need to chase it. You only need to stay receptive. In the next part, I will speak about the people who appear right before the gate opens and how to walk past them without losing your peace. Chosen one. There is a kind of tiredness that does not come from effort, but from holding belief longer than your emotions can keep up. It settles quietly in the body. It does not shout. It shows up in the small pauses, the deeper sighs, the moments when you sit still longer than usual before moving. This part of the journey is not about intensity, it is about endurance. And endurance is not loud. Anointed one, this is the stretch where the promise feels settled in your spirit, but the days still ask you to show up without proof. You know something is real, yet you still wash the dishes, answer the messages, commute, pay what you can, and keep your word. This is where faith matures, not in declarations, but in consistency, not in excitement, but in return. Chosen one, I have learned that waiting does not mean standing still. Waiting means continuing without needing reassurance every hour. It means doing the ordinary things with the same integrity you practiced when everything felt heavy. It means choosing not to become sharp just because the timeline feels slow. Many people fail here, not because the promise was false, but because the waiting asked them to stay the same person without applause. Anointed one, there were days you expected to feel more certain by now. Days you thought clarity would arrive with energy instead of quiet. Instead, what arrived was steadiness, a calmer pulse, a slower reaction. That is not stagnation, that is grounding. Heaven often trades urgency for depth before release. Chosen one, this season is not asking you to perform belief, it is asking you to remember it, to return to what you already know, to remember why you did not compromise before, to remember what carried you through nights when you had no answers. Faith that survives long waits is not fueled by emotion, it is fueled by memory. You remember what you have already been brought through. You remember what did not break you. You remember the moments you were sustained without understanding how. Anointed one, pressure has a way of revealing where belief actually lives. When things are exciting, belief is easy. When things are repetitive, belief becomes practice. This is where your character has been quietly trained. Not to chase signs, but to remain anchored. Not to react to every fluctuation, but to keep your posture steady. Chosen one, there is holiness in repetition, waking up and doing the next right thing, speaking kindly when you are tired, keeping boundaries when you are tempted to explain yourself, resting without guilt. These are not delays, these are stabilizers, and stability is what allows increase to stay once it arrives. Anointed one, I want to acknowledge something real. There are moments you feel unseen, moments you wonder if the silence means nothing is happening. It does not. Silence often means things are being assembled. You do not hear construction inside walls. You hear it when the wall is already open. What is being prepared does not require your supervision. It requires your steadiness. Chosen one, faith, I have found, is rarely sustained by constant explanation or dramatic signs. More often it is steadied by simple, repeatable reminders that bring the heart back to center when the mind starts to wander. There is one such quiet reminder mentioned gently in the description below. And now let me return you to the depth of what is unfolding. Anointed one, do not despise the sameness of your days right now. This is where your nervous system is learning safety without struggle. This is where your spirit is learning to rest without collapse. This is where you are learning that you do not have to be anxious to be alert. That lesson will matter more than you realize when the environment around you changes. Chosen one, endurance does not mean pretending you are not tired. It means you refuse to let tiredness make decisions for you. You still choose truth. You still choose restraint. You still choose to show up as yourself, not as a reaction to pressure. That is maturity, and maturity attracts trust. Heaven releases weight to those who can carry it without tipping. Anointed one, this is also why you have felt a quiet pulling away from noise. Less appetite for comparison, less patience for drama, less interest in explaining your process. This is not isolation, this is concentration. When something is being formed, distractions naturally fall away. You are not losing people, you are shedding interference. Chosen one, you are not meant to rush this stretch, you are meant to walk it with dignity. The promise does not expire because you are human, it does not withdraw because you had a hard day, it does not reset because you needed rest. What is coming is not fragile, it is patient. It has waited this long because it was waiting for you to become someone who could wait without breaking. Anointed one, continue returning to what steadies you. Continue honoring your word. Continue choosing peace over performance. This is not the moment to prove belief. It is the moment to live it quietly. What is built in this stretch will determine how free you feel when the door opens. Chosen one, the weight you are carrying now is not punishment. It is preparation, and preparation always feels heavier before it turns into support. Stay present, stay anchored. The next movement will not ask you to strain. It will ask you to step forward with the same calm you learned right here. Chosen one. As the momentum gathers, something subtle but unavoidable begins to happen around you. People become mirrors. Conversations feel heavier. Reactions feel sharper. This is not coincidence. When abundance moves closer, it creates a magnetic field, and that field pulls unresolved fear, jealousy, doubt, and attachment to the surface. These are not enemies sent to destroy you. They are thresholds designed to reveal whether you will carry your future with clarity or drag your past into it. Anointed one. The first presence you often meet is doubt, wearing familiar clothing. It may come from someone who loves you but has never known expansion. They speak caution, not because they see danger, but because they remember disappointment. Their concern sounds reasonable, their tone sounds protective, but underneath it is fear that was never healed. This is where you learn